Let's talk to Justin in Missouri. Justin, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to, everybody's talking about Ron Paul, and you know, I agree. We need to get him in office, but everybody needs to realize also that we need to put some people in the Congress and the Senate to back him up as well, because that happens in that election cycle as well.
Hey, listen, the Federal Reserve is incredibly unpopular in every poll now. Rick Perry's having to act like he's anti-Federal Reserve to try to get elected. Look at how far we've come. Ron Paul, Rand Paul, they're only a manifestation. I agree. Everyone should run on the ideas of liberty articulated by Ron Paul, and it's a winning formula. We just, and even if you don't win the first time, you're going to educate people in those debates, in those interviews, whether it's city council, water district, state legislature, just do it.
Yeah, but I mean the people as well, to vote some like-minded folks into the Senate and the Congress to help them. You know, because as you said before, one guy can't do it all.
Well, one guy can't, but again, going back to what I'm saying, how big a manifestation is it of liberty that he was an underdog candidate 3.5 years ago, and now, any way you slice it, even AP's own analysis agrees, so does the Pew Research, that he is number one or number two. I mean, he really is the front runner right now. He is the front runner, even with the media trying to ignore him. That shows us how far we've come, Justin.
Yeah, and I've been calling my local shows here in St. Louis, and it's like every time I tell them I want to talk about Ron Paul or Rick Perry, it's like I wait 2 hours and the show ends and they never come to me.
Well, I'm telling you, you can call in about another political issue and then bring up what you want once you get on air. This whole call screening business, I only screen calls when we've got a specific topic, and there is a talking point out there to attack Ron Paul. Most of these local talk show hosts are not government agents. They're weak-minded idiots who think if they regurgitate what CNN and Fox News say, that makes them sound real good. No, we're not talking about Ron Paul while we look at other candidates because he can't win. We say so. That's disgusting. Let's go ahead and talk to Sky in Washington. Sky, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. We're talking about FEMA, so I want to talk about this Border Patrol situation going on up here by the border. We had like 4 agents over in Port Angeles. That's kind of near the coast in Washington. And now they got it up to 40. And even the people that work there was one agent who came out and went public and said, we're not doing anything besides driving around and trying to make work for us, because they're responding to everything from bank robberies to domestic violent situations in trailer parks.
No, I saw those articles all over the northern border. And, of course, you're up there in Washington, right on the Canadian border. All over the Canadian border, they're sending the Border Patrol to regular events, and they're building a fence up there in many areas instead of doing it in the South where it's needed, because they don't want Americans to get out during a depression. They're locking the country down where you can't get out, you can just get in. And so that's what's going on. And look, I've got an article right here out of CBS News where they just calmly report, yeah, the Air Force helped Freudian slip, helped raid a gun shop. And again, I see articles every 2 days now where Marines respond to robbery. Marines, Army running checkpoints 10 miles from base. And it's totally illegal. But it's illegal for Obama to be launching wars without congressional approval. I mean, it's very scary, Sky.
Well, they're also working with the local police departments in this program called Operation Stone Garden. It's a FEMA program or something to try to, I don't know what they're doing with the local.
Sir, they've come in with federal money that was taken from the states to begin with. They've set up threat fusion centers, and I've gotten training videos from inside. I've aired them. It's been national news. And all they do is talk about in the fetters, get us out of the UNers, anti-globalists, and how evil veterans are. I mean, they actually, with a straight face, none of this has to do with al-Qaeda. Even if you believe the fairy tale about bin Laden and all of this stuff, the whole thing is about Americans that don't want foreign banks coming in like we're a third world country and taking us over. Okay? It's simple. We're being conquered. I appreciate your call. Tim in Connecticut, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, and I got out in the early 90s, and I have a home remodeling business here in Connecticut. And about three and a half years ago, I worked for a White House staffer who I really don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't want to say their name. But after they found out I was a U.S. Navy veteran, they slowly confided in me for about, a year on and off that I worked there. And they told me, I was informed that, yes, there is a plan for martial law in the United States. And not only that, that we will see United Nations troops in our streets. And this was right when Obama was running for, when he was...
well, by the way, if new listeners just tuned in, I was first told this by generals and colonels we interviewed who were retired, who went to events, and these speeches were given. But now it's official. NLE09, FEMA put out a press release. You just type in NLE09. That 14 countries are prepared to enter the U.S. for civil emergencies, including Mexican and Canadian troops, and then they use, quote, U.S. troops in Canada for the Olympics. So, yes, sir, what they were confiding in you is public. See, that's what's crazy. This is all public. They're just counting on the general population not going and looking this up. And again, they're doing it because the banks have taken us over. They got their people in all the positions of power and then had our government sign on to their debt. Do you understand that?
And one of the other things, one of the other issues I used to bring up, every time I said Obama, they said, Tim, it's not Obama, it's Rothschilds. They are in control of all of it. It's the Rothschild family. They'd almost scream it in my face at times. They'd get so frustrated because, I'm always searching for answers. And they'd give me limited information and let me read things, and then you can't take it with you, but we just want you to know. I mean,
so they seem tortured by this. I talked to a very well-known doctor. I'm just going to leave that alone. They've been on the show, but I won't say their name in association with it. And they were told by a head of state in Europe, a major head of state, a woman, not hard to figure out who, that she's very sad about the fact that once the world government's in place, that they're going to release a bioweapon and kill most of us. But that's just what's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't a game. Once their world government's in place, once it's in place, all of you police, all of you people that have served the system, you are not going to believe what happens to you while you're there dying with your family. I'm out of time. Great job to the crew. I'm sorry to Dave and Justin and Danny. You call me back tomorrow, I'll get to you, 11 a.m. Central. Now get out there and take on the tyrants and wake up. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.